Tell me, tell me a little bit your life now. You live in New York. You don't go back to Connecticut that often.
Not very often. I have some family in Connecticut, but I stay away from there. I just kind of keep busy. It's I wouldn't say it's hard to go back to Connecticut, but that's past my life, so I don't really visit there often.
Yeah, and it's because of what happened, I'm assuming.
Well,
right?
yeah, it's that, and growing up, I was into trouble, and it just wasn't. It's just not home. My mom's not there. Like, if my mom lived there, I would visit there more often just because of her. But like, the thing that matters really isn't in Connecticut, so I don't go.
I understand. What it sounds like, and you and I have talked online. We haven't. This is the first time we sat down and talked. Yeah. It seems like all of this is still, all these years later, still hard for you.
It's very hard still. I wonder like how it would be to have a brother and sister at times. Like, growing up, I never got to experience any of that because it was taken away at a young age. Like, my mom would tell me that they would spoil me when I was younger, and it's just like, I wonder if my life would be different if they were still here, how that would be, and it is hard. I almost didn't want to do this after saying yes, so.
I understand. Let's talk about the issue of tolls. So this thing came up again. What happened that they changed history in Connecticut?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we fast forward the clock 30 years, and there's talk about bringing the tolls back. First off, when you hear that, what's your reaction? What do you think about that?
What's it going to take? Another family losing family members? I saw recently in New Hampshire that toll, and it's like nobody died in that accident, thank God. But if it was 30 years ago and they were man-powered tolls, that person would have been annihilated, I think. And so there's times have changed. I get that they're better technology, and there's ways you can have tolls in the Connecticut without even having people manning them. So maybe that, I don't know. I mean, I'm not for them, but I'm not completely against it either, because I understand they have to pay for the road somehow.
And that's what I was going to ask you, because we looked at that accident recently too, and you probably saw it. Technology has changed, with Easy Pass and that kind of thing, but there are still cash lanes where folks are stopped to go through. I mean, I don't know how to. It would almost, and I can't put myself in your shoes. I would never imagine that. It would seem to me almost like the pressure of money and time are making the state forget about what happened to your family. Is that your reaction to this at all?
Well, yeah, I think the whole money thing is just makes it go away. They want them. They don't care about. Not that they don't care about if somebody else loses their life for them to get money. I believe like it doesn't affect them, so why should it? It doesn't matter, I think, and that's what's hard because, like, I took myself out of the like. What if it wasn't my family? Would I care that tolls were going to go back into Connecticut? I probably wouldn't even think twice, like, to say, go, whatever, fine, put him back. But it has affected me, so it's just harder, and I don't know.
I mean, and obviously, no one can walk a mile in your shoes, but I'm assuming it would be in your mind somewhere that you certainly wouldn't want this to happen to another family.
No, I don't. I'm not at all. I'm not saying, like, that's not, but it's just, everyday life happens, and if I wasn't so affected by it, would I even think twice that this could happen to somebody else's family? I mean, because I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So I guess it's just hard because I wouldn't want that anybody to go through this. I mean, it's taken a toll on relationship issues for me. Like I deal with a lot of things because my mom also thought I was killed in an accident. So I was left for a day, 12, 13 hours in the hospital all alone. So it kind of, that scarred me for the rest of my life. So.
But, look, if you got to vote on this, what would your vote be?
Probably no, but just because of the history that I've had, like that. I mean, in many other states, tolls work. They've accustomed to their whatever they. So, but I think if they put them back in Connecticut right now, a lot of these younger generations that don't know about tolls will just, it'll be another bad catastrophe, I think. And that's, I don't know. So.
Yeah. Is obviously, just by looking around your room here and looking at your Facebook page, the loss that happened that day is still very much right here.
Yeah. And they're with me all the time, I believe. They kept me out of trouble and harm's way many times, I believe. So I think they're always with me.
Yeah.
So.
Mark, do you remember anything about that day?
I do. I remember the guy pulling me out of the car. I remember sitting in the toll booth around the side of the highway, watching the car explode. I remember being in the hospital with the nurse that stayed with me most of the time. I remember when my mom found me with her, and there was like a group of people that finally came and got me. I remember too much from that day for a 3-year-old child, I think.
Yeah. You were such a young boy. Do you have memories of your brother and sister? Do you have memories of them?
I don't know if I have memories, but my mom's told me stories about my brother and my sister. I remember being a young kid on the couch, and I had a patch on my eye because I had bad vision in one eye, and they would go get me chips. They would get me things to eat. I remember they would just spoil me, and it sucks that was taken away.
Talk to me a little bit about your life after the accident. Till now. I mean, growing up after that, what was your life like?
I was spoiled. My mom, I got whatever I wanted because my mom felt like she lost two kids. She couldn't lose another one. So I also she became very protective, and I wouldn't be able to do certain things. I wouldn't be able to go play. Like, it was hard. And I've slowly, over the years, I've kept coming in and out of addiction for drugs, and I've been slowly killing myself in front of my mom. Like, she had 2 kids taken away. I was on drugs. So I mean, it's selfish of me that I've done. She lost 2 kids, and now I'm doing it like slowly in front of her. So that kind of hurts me a lot. So,
do you think that the problems that you've had with addiction and other things in your life, do you think it's directly tied to what happened that day?
Is it directly? Yes and no. I mean, I numb the pain that I've never dealt with because of it, I think, with the stuff I'm doing or did. So, yeah, I definitely think that has a big effect on it. Not that I haven't dealt with it, but I haven't completely, fully dealt with it. I was in rehab, and they made me write a letter to my brother and sister, and that probably was one of the most helpful things I've ever done, because I got to say bye to them. I got to say all these things I never could say, but I said it through a letter.
What kind of things were in the letter?
Just how life would be different, how our friendships could have been, or our bond, or just stuff like I never got to experience.
Is there anything, because there are folks in Connecticut right now who are making this decision about whether or not to bring these tolls back. What would you want to say to them? Anything you want to say to them from your perspective?
Just don't think all about money. It's not all about money. It's about family and how it could affect other people. Like, they're going to find ways to pay for the roads with or without the tolls. So, I mean, maybe there's other ways they can find.
Yeah. You always keep pictures of your family close by?
My brother and sister, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What am I forgetting? Anything I'm forgetting here I should be asking you about?
I don't think.
And like I say, I don't want to dig too deep. I have other curiosities about that day. So you remember the guy grabbing you?
Yeah, I remember getting pulled out of the car, and I never understood like why he didn't pull my brother out or the other kid, but I guess it's because I was the one closest to the window, or I was in a car seat. I don't remember what my mom said about it, but yeah, I remember getting pulled out. I remember sitting in the thing screaming and watching the car just go up in flames. That's something I wish I couldn't forget.
In the toll booth. You're in the toll booth.
Yeah, I guess the office areas, that side of the highway. Yeah.
What did you think? You were old enough to understand, well, maybe you weren't, when they took the tolls down. Do you have memory of that, or were you?
I don't have a memory of that. I know that there's one of the tolls at Booth Memorial Park.
And say that again?
There's a toll. Isn't there one of the old toll booths at Booth Memorial Park?
There is, yes.
Yeah. I don't remember when it came down, but I remember going there after and seeing it. Well, because I lived in that town. But
What was that like?
It was. I don't know. It's weird to see like they were that little box. That's all. And nowadays, they're completely a lot safer, maybe. But it's just hard to even.
Yeah. And again, I'm curious that you saw that recent accident. Yeah. Did you see the video of it happening?
Yeah, I saw it online. It was.
What did you think of that?
Today it still happens, but and I thought, wow, if this was 10, 15 years ago, that person that man that toll booth would have been dead. Or what if that happened at rush hour? That could have been a totally different situation. Thank God nobody died. But if it was probably 2 or 3 hours difference in either way, it could have been a lot worse.
Let's see. And what else? Anything else I'm forgetting about this that I should be asking you?
No.
Do you ever go back? Now, your brother and sister are buried in Milford.
Yeah.
You ever go back there?
I haven't gone there in 3 years. I think about it all the time. I want to go. It's hard to get. I don't have a car, so it's just harder to. If I had a car, I'd probably go to Connecticut more than I do now. But it's just hard to get out there and to go see them. I mean, I would do it, but with no transportation, it's hard right now.
I'm not a psychologist. I don't know. Is the phrase for what you deal with here? Is it what do they call it? Survivor's guilt? Is that what this is?
Yeah, I all the time I wish that I can trade places with them. I don't think I deserve. Well, I do deserve to be alive, but I don't think my life should have been saved for theirs. I wish he would have tried to grab everybody and not just one. But I get the reason why he couldn't, but it's still, yeah, I definitely have survivor's guilt.